May I ask a question?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. We always hear dana, sila, and bhavana, and also sila, samadhi, and panya. So, what's the connection between this bhavana and samadhi?
Yes, I will translate these words first. When you look at the Noble Eightfold Path, it has three divisions. The first one is panya, that is wisdom, that is right view and right intention. Then there is a middle part, which is sila, which means ethics or morality, which is right speech, right action, right livelihood. And then you have a final part of bhavana, that is the meditation part, and that consists of right effort, which is the 6 R's, and right mindfulness and right collectedness. So generosity, dana, is not clearly mentioned in the Eightfold Path, but it is a really important part of the practice that the Buddha mentions a lot. Basically, the entire Eightfold Path is all about purifying the mind, becoming more and more wholesome and more selfless in a way. And generosity is a beautiful part of that, because it is dana. Actually, dana means not generosity, but giving. This is a subtle distinction. And giving can be giving away your smile, or volunteering, or giving money, or things like that. And it is really helpful to cultivate a wholesome mind that is compassionate in a way toward other beings. And compassion and loving kindness are again a part of right intention, so the wisdom part, because right intention is non-ill will, which is metta, non-harming, non-cruelty, which is compassion, and then a third part, which is the renunciation part, so not chasing after sense pleasures. So it all builds towards becoming more and more wholesome, not from a viewpoint of an I, a me that is doing good things, but it's just a natural, beautiful way to respond to the world, in a sense. Would that answer your question?
Okay. Thanks. I have another question.
Yes.
Yeah, if you read the Karaniya Metta Sutta, there is also a steps of doing Metta bhavana. But is there a difference between what we practice now and the Karaniya Metta Sutta?
No, it's practicing this practice, but it is quite wide, because it also mentions the not chasing after sensual pleasures, and I think I have it here. Maybe I can read it to you if you like. It's 1.8, I think. Well, it's easier to read it from my PC. I have a beautiful version from Gil Fronsdal, who made a really nice translation. He translated it thus: to reach the state of peace, one skilled in the good should be capable and upright, straightforward and easy to speak to, gentle and not proud, contented and easily supported, living lightly and with few duties, wise and with senses calmed, not arrogant and without greed for supporters. And they should not do the least thing that the wise would criticize. They should reflect. May all be happy and secure. May all beings be happy at heart. All living beings, whether weak or strong, tall, large, medium or short, tiny or big, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Let no one deceive another or despise anyone anywhere. Let no one through anger or aversion wish for others to suffer. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her child, her only child, so toward all beings should one cultivate a boundless heart. With loving kindness for the whole world should one cultivate a boundless heart, above, below, and all around, without obstruction, without hate, and without ill will. Standing or walking, sitting or lying down, whenever one is awake, may one stay with this recollection. This is called a sublime abiding here and now, one who is virtuous, endowed with vision, not taken by views, and having overcome all greed for sensual pleasure, will not be reborn again. So basically, it's encompassing the entire Eightfold Path. So you will notice the renunciation part is in it, being ethical is in it, the metta practice of radiating to all living beings. By the way, we first start out for beginners with a spiritual friend, because for most people it's easier to practice with one person, but in the end we radiate in all directions to all beings. So the Metta Sutta is really elaborate and it encompasses a lot of things, but basically the 6 R's also encompass the entire Eightfold Path, because when we practice loving kindness to all beings, all things become right. Because if one has loving kindness, you would not think about stealing from someone or killing someone or hurting anyone in whatever way. And the meditation part is already included in the 6 R's. So yes, the Metta Sutta is very detailed, but it is definitely the same as our entire practice, and it leads to arahantship. So yes.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Not about the suttas, more practical. Sometimes I have like dullness, sloth and torpor. And sometimes it's nice. I know, like I relax, I just accept it, relax through it. And then I amazingly wake up and I have like the last 30 minutes are like nice, But sometimes it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm really like sleeping. and then I interrupt the session. I interrupt the session, have a nap, and then or go for a walk, and then I come back and do another session. So would you say that is advisable, or should I always like go through it?
No, I think it's really good what you did, because sometimes there are different causes for sloth and torpor. If you are just, if you have a lack of sleep, then it's preferable to just take a nap. It's fine, because then you need sleep more than meditation. And when you are utterly exhausted, the meditation will not become that good anyway. So you would be better off just to take a nap. But there are also situations where sloth and torpor is a reaction from the mind because it's a bit bored, for instance, or then it's really a hindrance, a mental hindrance. And in that case, yes, you could just 6R a lot every time you notice it. But you can also, there are also a lot of other tips and tricks that you can use. For instance, what you said, going for a walk, some fresh air might do the trick. Some people like to splash cold water in their face or pinch their cheeks, or look into quite bright light, not in the sun directly, but bright light might also wake you up. And a funny tip that Bhante Vimalaramsi often shares is, if you have sloth and torpor, do walking meditation, but when you are at the end of your walk, don't turn around, but walk backwards. Because you need to be pretty mindful to make sure that you don't trip.
Yeah.
So that might also wake you up. Another thing is, besides the 6Rs, which are always good, is to see if you can be just a bit more interested in what is happening. For instance, you might still observe the loving kindness, but maybe you can see if it becomes a bit weaker or a bit stronger. And just that investigation, not analyzing, but just that more interesting in the meditation might also be enough to let go of the sloth and torpor. So there are all kinds of things, but yes, if you are just plain tired, some people with a newborn or a difficult job or just a bad night with not enough sleep, just take a nap, and that would be more advisable than the meditation at that point. But if you suspect that it's more mentally, then there are all kinds of tips and tricks you can use. And 6R, always 6R.
Okay, nice. I will try that. And I have another occasion when I sometimes interrupt the sitting also, like after half an hour, is when I just don't get into the metta feeling. Like I do everything as told, and I just don't feel it, like I just don't feel it. And then I think, okay, this is the object of the meditation. I mean, I don't have it. What's the point in like going on a full hour? So then I stop after half an hour, also interrupt.
Well, we can investigate it more elaborately in the interviews, but it might be that you are trying too hard, that you really feel like you should do everything perfect, and then you are probably more busy with, am I doing the meditation like I am supposed to be doing it, versus just be happy and have a bit of fun and just relax and just let the feeling flow. Might be a bit weaker, might be a bit stronger, it doesn't matter. But it might be that you are trying really hard to juggle with everything you know about the practice.
That sounds like me, the trying too hard. Today I tried, I had this for a very long time, and then I thought, okay, whatever, just relax, just concentrate on the whole body, relax. and I was telling myself, maybe it's always there. You know, when I tell myself it's not there, I think it's actually always there, like subtle. And then I went on, and I was just, it was more about the relaxing, and then in the end, like the last 10 minutes, it suddenly like was stronger.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know if I always want to go through 50 minutes till I actually like feel it. I don't know.
we can tweak it a bit, but if you have a really sincere intention to radiate loving kindness, to wish your friend, just you wish them well, you wish them peace, you wish them freedom from suffering, then the loving kindness will be there. Even if it's very subtle, if you have a sincere intention, it will be there. You might not really clearly notice it, but it will be there nonetheless.
Okay.
So, but tomorrow we can explore some things to work on that. But relax a bit, have a bit of fun. You are not here for a test. I'm not testing you. No one is testing you. You are here because you want to become more wholesome, to have less suffering in your life. And when you're really trying to get it all right, that is suffering in and of itself. And just see it more like a game, or just something pleasant, like sitting in the sun on a bench in a park, just enjoying it. If you would see an animal or a baby, would you really think, oh, now I need to make sure that the loving kindness is strong enough and I'm radiating it in the direction of that animal or that baby? No, it just flows. And the meditation is not that different. So don't worry so much, and smile more. You really need to smile a lot all throughout the day too. And it feels a bit difficult initially. It feels a bit forced, but when you do that a couple of days, it will become more natural, and you might laugh or when you notice that, oh, I'm trying too hard. Yeah, just smile it off.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I will try to just have like a little more fun, I guess. Okay, nice. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
I've gotten stuck in a jhana a couple of times. Now, I have eventually worked through that, but I wondered if you had any advice on maybe how to do that a little bit more efficiently, because I'm sure the way I'm doing it maybe it's not best, but it has worked. But if you got any advice, that would be great.
You say you are stuck in a jhana?
Yes,
Could you tell me a bit more?
Well, the jhana, it's very nice, and as it's developing, it gets nicer. And I suppose there's attachment because I start looking at the jhana more and start focusing more on the feelings that's in that jhana. And when I see that it's not sort of developing or moving on anymore, I'll say something like, that's enough time to move on, sort of thing. After maybe 6 hours and a couple of times, and that doesn't work because I'm maybe still looking at the jhana too much. And then once I give myself, well, not a telling off, but I have a few words with myself, it kind of moves on from there. But I'm sure there's a better way to do it.
Yes. Yes. First of all, you have been changing your object, and the jhana factors are not your object of meditation.
Yeah.
So when you notice that, you really just 6R because you are distracted, because you are not on the object where you are supposed to be on, right? The loving feeling and the friend.
Yeah.
So when you notice that you are watching any kind of jhana factor, just 6R and return to the actual object of meditation. Also, the 6Rs are not to chase away or punish yourself or punish hindrances or whatever. It's just a really gentle letting go. So don't tell yourself off. It's not like you need a slap on the wrist or whatever. No, you were just distracted. You shifted to another object of meditation. Don't worry about it and don't take it personally. Whatever in the meditation, don't ever take it personally. They are just mental states arising and passing away. And also noticing that you were observing another object that is also a mental state that just arises and passes away. So don't be harsh on yourself. Just see it as a plain old distraction. No need to analyze. Just, oh, oops, I did it again. 6R, return to the object that you are supposed to be observing.
You've probably said it right there, because I'm just trying to recollect from the last time I did it. And I suppose I am saying to myself, oh, what's this about and what's that about and what have I done here? So that's the analyzing. I see that. Yeah. Right.
It's really common, you know, that analyzing, I think it's really maybe in the way we are educated or raised, we want to analyze everything. We want to know exactly what is going on. But the meditation is just observing. It's afterwards, it's fine if you want to analyze. Oh, when I was meditating, when I look back, yeah, there was a lot of sloth and torpor there, or yes, I shifted off the object, or this happened or that happened. That is fine. But during the meditation, you never analyze, because that is just a hindrance, basically. Mm-hmm. So if you notice that you start to label things or analyze or are looking out, if you can spot certain things, that is all not the meditation. The meditation is just you bring up the feeling and you radiate it and you just observe how it flows out. And if you get distracted from that, and it doesn't matter what the distraction is, even when you are distracted by a beautiful insight, that is still a distraction, because you shift away from the object and you can think about an insight after the meditation, but you never analyze within the meditation. It's just bringing up the feeling, observing the feeling, and when you forgot you were meditating, you just let it go by using the 6Rs.
Okay.
You will probably fall into that trap a lot of times, but don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing, because next time I meditate, I probably will.
Don't worry about it. It's really simple, you know. It's not you that is doing it. It's just that when the attention goes somewhere, be it a hindrance or be it a really beautiful feeling, that will grow. You will feed it with your attention. Mm-hmm. If you have that tendency of observing jhana factors, you can't expect it to be magically gone the next sit. No, you have been feeding that intention for a while to look at jhana factors. And now by patiently 6Ring and returning to the correct object, so to speak, you are weakening that tendency of looking at the jhana factors, but you are not doing something that deserves any punishment. You just gently shift the attention to weaken the things that you are not supposed to be doing and strengthening the things that you are supposed to be doing. But don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up, because that would be craving too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. With regards to metta, the quality of metta, is there a difference when we have a good sila and we have a bad sila?
That's a really interesting question. I definitely think that when you practice this for longer times, over time, because you are doing so much metta practice, that sila will become, so ethics or morality, the 5 precepts will become more natural. It will seem the logical thing to do. And I think you also start to see suffering better. You are recognizing suffering better. And then you will also extrapolate it to other beings who are also suffering. So there is definitely an interaction between metta and the precepts. And also keeping the precepts is really good for the collectedness part of the meditation. So keeping the precepts will also make the meditation easier. For instance, a bit less hindrances or less strong, and you are able to be with the object a bit longer and things like that. So yes, I would say so. Nice question.
Thank you.
Maybe also good to mention that you really don't need to feel like there are any stupid questions or anything. Because if you are afraid of asking a question because you think that might be dumb or something, there are always plenty of other people who also wanted to know the answer to that question. So really feel free to ask whatever is on your mind.
Yes, so I have a question.
Yes.
Is it normal if you were able to enter a very deep state before, but after a while you don't practice hard? Like maybe you rest, because that's what I did. In my last retreats, I went really deep, but after that I got defilements and I didn't practice anymore, and now I cannot go as deep as before. Is that normal thing, or is that my fault? Or
Well, it's never anybody's fault. We don't talk about faults in this practice because that would be just craving. And Are you talking about different practices than you are doing now?
No, I'm talking about metta practice. Yeah.
Okay, so using the 6 R's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, it might be that the practice started slipping a bit for whatever reason, and then you might need to build it up a little bit again.
Yeah.
But be aware that you don't have any expectations, because in your question, I sense that you feel that you should be going deeper.
Yeah.
Because you did so in the past, and that is an expectation. And then you are basically blocking all progress, because it's basically just a hindrance, a striving. You want to have a certain achievement, so to say. So if you notice that thought, for instance, I should be going deeper, or why am I not progressing, just treat it as a hindrance and 6R it. Because that worrying is exactly what would be blocking it. So laugh about that crazy thought about I want to be in control of this meditation, and it doesn't seem to work that way, because we are never in control of the meditation. The mind will decide. And when we try to change reality in whatever way, that is just craving, that is just a hindrance, and that will be blocking progress.
Yeah.
So
So like it's normal to sleep back a bit. It happens for everybody, right?
It happens. Some people perhaps not, they just zoom along, and other people, yes, they sink back a little and crawl back up. It's fine. Maybe it was that the practice backtracked a little bit because you got bored, or whatever the reason, or you had a new job and you just didn't have as much progress in the meditation because you were constantly busy with work or kids or whatever. There are all kinds of reasons, but don't worry about it. And don't control it, because that would just basically push all progress back.
Yeah.
So, but don't
Thank
worry about it. Yes, it can definitely happen. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have another question.
Yes. Ask away.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes when we sit, then it's like it's gone into dream state. So that is that a sloth and torpor?
Well, it would, you are quite new to the practice, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's sloth and torpor. It can be very pleasant, like a mental bath, really relaxed and nothing is happening, and it's quite pleasant, but you are not really mindful of what is happening. So yes, that is sloth and torpor, and you just 6R. And it might very well be, it's not like you 6R once and magically the hindrance is completely gone, but it will weaken. So you 6R, and within a couple of seconds or a minute, you're back into the sloth and torpor, and you 6R again, and it happens again. And then you notice, oh, I wasn't really meditating, and you 6R again. And over time, you will put away the fuel for that sloth and torpor. And also, like I said, maybe perk yourself up with just a little bit of more interest in what you are noticing in the meditation. That could also help let go of sloth and torpor. So maybe one final question.
If I smile so much and my cheek hurts, should I just visualize a smiley face instead of smiling like physically?
You don't need to make a huge effort with the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at Buddha statues, you often see a very subtle little smile, just basically an upturning of the corners of the mouth. That is enough. And also smiling is not only with the mouth, but also, even if the eyes are closed, smiling with the eyes, smiling with the mind, smiling with the heart. So don't feel like you have to have this huge smile on your face. Just if you already notice that the mind is really happy and joyful, that already could be enough. So try just a little upturning of the corners of the mouth, and that might help. You shouldn't be hurting from it.
Yeah, because I try to smile too much and I feel really strained in my cheek.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it can be quite painful. So yeah, just a little smile, and also a smile from the mind, from the heart. So yeah, that makes the mind just more light, and it will make it easier to return to the loving kindness, so to speak.
yeah, thank you.
Okay. Let's share some merits. Where is my screen? Yes. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.